endocrine system. You will be able to know about the anatomy and physiology of endocrine system, how it functions and what role the system plays in human body. Like endocrine system is also called as body's chemical messenger. Here you can see a clear picture of endocrine system, and these are all the glands of endocrine system. What are they? Pineal gland, pituitary gland, hypothalamus, thyroid, parathyroid glands, thymus, pancreas, adrenal glands, testicle, and in female the additional glands are ovary and placenta during pregnancy. Now this is the introduction to endocrine system. What is endocrine system? The meaning of endocrine system is it's a group of organs called glands that are found all over your body. So these glands make and release special chemical messengers called hormones. So what is the role of hormones? Hormones act like messages that travel through your bloodstream. They tell different parts of your body like your organs, skins, muscles and tissues so what to do and when to do. For example, hormones can tell your body to grow, use energy or prepare for sleep. How they actually work? The glands release hormones directly into the blood, whereas this blood carries these hormones to target organs or tissues, and these organs then respond to the message from the hormone. So these are the main functions controlled by the hormones. What are they? Growth and development, metabolism, mood and emotions, reproduction, sleep, and other body processes. So growth and development, how your body grows and matures. Whereas metabolism, the second function, metabolism means how your body uses food and energy. Coming to mood and emotions, how you feel and how you react. Reproduction, controlling puberty, sexual function and also fertility. Sleep and other body processes like your sleep cycle and internal clock. In simple way, the endocrine system is like your body's messaging system. And then coming to the anatomy of the endocrine system. What is the function of glands? Each gland makes specific hormones that target specific organs or tissues in the body. For example, a thyroid gland controls metabolism, whereas pancreas, it controls blood sugar levels. Okay, and the ovaries and testes, it controls reproductive functions. And what are the locations of glands? Glands are found all over the body, in the brain, neck, abdomen, and also reproductive organs. Some glands are tiny, about the size of a grain of rice or a pea, while others are larger. What is the largest gland in the endocrine system? It's a pancreas, which is about 6 inches long. It has both endocrine hormone producing function and also exocrine digestive enzyme producing function. So what are the main glands that produce hormones? Hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenal, pineal, pancreas, ovaries and testes. So what does this hypothalamus do? It controls the pituitary gland actually. It controls the pituitary gland and it links the nervous system to the endocrine system. Pituitary gland, it's also called as the master gland. It controls other glands. So whereas coming to thyroid gland, it regulates the metabolism. Parathyroid, it controls the calcium levels in the blood. Adrenal gland, what is the function of the adrenal gland? It produces the adrenaline and cortisol for stress response. And pineal gland, this regulates the sleep cycles. Sleep cycles means melatonin pigment is responsible for the sleep cycle. So pancreas, it controls blood sugar through insulin and glucagon. Ovaries and testes. Ovaries in females, it is present in females. It produces estrogen and progesterone hormones. Whereas testes, it is present in male. It produces testosterone hormone. And then now we go into brief description about the anatomy and physiology of each and every gland specifically. Coming to the first gland, what it is? Hypothalamus. So what is hypothalamus? It is a small, actually it is small, but it is very important part of the brain. It acts as a control center that links the nervous system and endocrine system through the pituitary gland. Even though it's very small, it plays a big role in maintaining the body's homeostasis. That is, what is homeostasis? Keeping all the internal conditions balanced and stable. So coming to the anatomy of the hypothalamus. So where it is located? It is located below the thalamus and above the pituitary gland in the brain. It forms the floor of the third ventricle of the brain. It is a part of diencephalon region of the forebrain. It is connected to the pituitary gland by a stalk called infundibulum. Here you can see. This is the anterior pituitary part. This is the posterior pituitary part. And this anterior pituitary part, it consists of three parts. What are they? Pars tuberalis, pars intermedia, pars distalis. Whereas in the posterior part, it consists of pars nervosa and infundibulum. This infundibulum, it is connected to the pituitary gland by a stalk. Structure wise, the hypothalamus contains several groups of nerve cells called nuclei. So what is nuclei? With each specific function. It is a group of cells like controlling temperature, hunger or sleep. So this hypothalamus, it helps to regulate vital body functions by controlling hormone release and also the automatic body processes. There are many major functions of hypothalamus. So what are they? What are the main functions of hypothalamus? The first function is it controls the pituitary gland. How? It produces the hormones that control the release of other hormones from the pituitary gland. So it acts as the master controller. And the second function, regulation of body temperature. It acts as the body's thermostat. It detects the changes in body temperature and it helps to maintain a normal 37 degrees Celsius. And the third function is hunger and thirst. The hypothalamus, it controls appetite and water balance, telling you when to eat or drink. And then sleep and wake cycle. It regulates circadian rhythms, your body's 24-hour biological clock that controls the sleep patterns. And the last, emotional responses. It works with other brain parts to control emotions, behavior, and also the stress response. It also produces the hormones. It makes releasing and inhibiting the hormones that control the anterior pituitary gland. So there are six hormones which are produced by the hypothalamus. What are the six hormones? The first one is TRH. It is thyrotropin releasing hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone CRH, and gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH, growth hormone releasing hormone GHRH, somatostatin, dopamine. It is nothing but PAH, prolactin inhibiting hormone. And this is all about the hypothalamus. And next, coming to the next gland. What it is? Pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, it is a small pea-sized endocrine gland often called as the master gland of the body. It controls many other endocrine glands and it regulates several important body functions by releasing various hormones. It works under the control of hypothalamus, which tells it when to release or stop releasing the hormones. So structure and function of the pituitary gland. It is located at the base of the brain just below the hypothalamus in a small bony cavity called sella turcica of the sphenoid bone. Here you can see a picture of pituitary gland. It is connected to the hypothalamus by a thin stalk called as infundibulum. Right? This is infundibulum. This is a pituitary stalk. It is connected to the hypothalamus. Its size is about 1 centimeter in diameter. Nothing but it's the size of a pea and it weighs around 0.5 grams. So this is the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland and it is a posterior lobe of the pituitary gland. So what does this anterior lobe do? It is controlled by hypothalamic releasing hormones, whereas posterior lobe, it is the direct connection with the hypothalamus and the hormones of the anterior pituitary gland. What hormones this anterior pituitary gland produces? GH, it's a growth hormone. TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. In female, this FSH hormone, it stimulates follicle, that is egg. And development in males, it helps sperm production. And LH hormone, luteinizing hormone. And prolactin, it's a PRL hormone. Whereas the posterior pituitary lobe, it produces only two hormones. What are they? ADH. ADH is nothing but vasopressin, right? And then oxytocin. And these pituitary gland perform many functions. It controls other endocrine glands such as thyroid, adrenal, ovaries, and testes. It also regulates growth and also physical development. It maintains water balance in the body. It also controls the reproduction. It influences metabolism and stress responses. It supports lactation. Lactation is nothing but milk production of the child birth. Here you can see clear image. This is the hypothalamus. It is connected to the hypothalamus, posterior lobe and anterior lobe. This is the hypothalamic neurons and hypophyseal veins. In simple words, pituitary gland is a master gland of the endocrine system. It receives signals from the hypothalamus and it releases hormones to control growth, reproduction, metabolism and water balances. And coming to the next gland, thyroid gland. Thyroid gland, it's a butterfly shaped endocrine gland located in the front of the neck. You can see here in the picture, it clearly resembles the butterfly shape. So just below the Adam's apple, it is present in front of the neck and just below the larynx. It lies on either side of the trachea and it is connected by a narrow band of tissue called isthmus. So this thyroid gland, it has two lobes, right lobe and left lobe. These two lobes, the yellow color one, the two lobes are the two large lateral lobes that lie on either side of the trachea. Each lobe is about 4 to 6 cm long and 1.5 to 2 cm wide. And the next part, isthmus. Isthmus, it's a small bridge of thyroid tissue that connects the left and right lobe. This is left lobe, this is right lobe, and the bridge between these two lobes is called as isthmus. It lies over the second and third tracheal rings. And the next, pyramidal lobe. Sometimes present, sometimes it is present, but it is not present all the time. It's a small upward extension from the isthmus or one lobe, a remnant of the thyroglossal duct which is present in some people. How the blood supply to the thyroid gland? Arteries. Superior thyroid artery. It supplies blood from external carotid artery. Inferior thyroid artery from thyrocervical trunk of subclavian artery. Veins like superior, middle and inferior thyroid veins drain the gland into nearby veins called internal jugular and brachiocephalic vein. You know where is brachiocephalic vein present? It's present in arm. And nerve supply to the thyroid gland from sympathetic and parasympathetic fibers to the cervical ganglia. The recurrent laryngeal nerve, it's a branch of vagus nerve. It lies close to the gland. This is most important in thyroid surgeries to avoid injury. Actually, these thyroid follicles, these are the tiny spherical structures filled with colloid. The picture we are seeing at the right side, it's a microscopic structure of the thyroid gland. So it's a tiny spherical structures filled with colloid when we observe it in microscope. The follicular cells around the colloid secrete thyroid hormones, that is T3 and T4. Parafollicular cells secrete calcitonin, which helps regulate calcium levels. So what is the function of the thyroid gland? It controls metabolism rate at which the body uses energy. It also regulates growth development and body temperature. It maintains calcium balance through calcitonin. So this is all about the thyroid gland. It plays a major role than any other glands in the endocrine system. And next, coming to the next gland, which is parathyroid gland. This parathyroid gland, these are the small oval shaped endocrine glands located between behind the thyroid gland in the neck. Here you can see this is a thyroid gland again, and this is the parathyroid. Here a red color spherical structures you can see clearly. These are parathyroid glands. These are just located behind the thyroid gland in the neck. So despite being close to the thyroid, they have a different function. They control the calcium and phosphorus levels in the blood. So there are 4 parathyroid glands, 2 superior and 2 inferior. They are embedded in the posterior surface of the thyroid gland's lobes. So one superior and one inferior on each side. You can see here pair of parathyroid on left and pair of parathyroid on right. So sometimes extra parathyroid glands may be present along the neck or near the thymus. So this coming to the structure of the parathyroid, each parathyroid gland is small and oval. It is about 3 to 6 millimeter long, 2 to 4 millimeter wide, and 30 to 50 milligrams in weight. It looks like yellowish brown in color, which is softer than the thyroid tissue. So what are the functions of the parathyroid gland? It has different functions when compared to the thyroid gland. It increases blood calcium levels by releasing the calcium from bones. It enhances calcium absorption from the intestines. It also reduces calcium loss through urine. It works together with the thyroid hormone calcitonin to maintain the calcium balance, nothing but homeostasis. So when coming to the microscopic structure of the parathyroid gland, it is made up of principal cells and oxyphil cells. So chief cells secrete parathyroid hormone PTH, whereas oxyphil cells have unknown function but increase with the age. So how blood supply and nerve supply is done to parathyroid? Blood supply, it's done mainly from the inferior thyroid artery coming to the artery, sometimes from the superior thyroid artery also. Okay, and when coming to the vein supply, it drains into the thyroid veins, then to the internal jugular or basophilic veins. Whereas coming to the nerve supply, sympathetic nerves from the middle and inferior cervical ganglia supply the neural function to the parathyroid glands. So this is all about parathyroid glands. So that's it for today, guys. This is all about today's session. In the next session, we will be learning about some other endocrine glands in brief. And thank you. Have a good day.